about our debate. It should be, should Marcos be buried in Libingan ng mga bayani? So we have the affirmative side and we have the opposition side. So last Friday, we have made an agreement about who would be the affirmative side and who would be the opposition side. So I suppose you have researched about the pivotal issue about Marcos should be buried, either yes or no, in the Libingan ng mga bayani. So class, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So should we start?
Yes, ma'am.
So but before that, let me introduce to you our judges for our debate. First, we have your AP teacher, Miss Jimlyn B. Ragma. We have Ma'am Terence Dayan Acera. And lastly, you have your advisor, Ma'am Mary Mar Laurier. So again, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So should we start from the affirmative side? Who would like to start? So but before that, this is a free debate. You know how free debate?
Yes.
So anyone can have his or her point, and then the other side will answer, or will have his or her rebuttal. So let's start. Yes, from the affirmative side, should we bury Marcos in the Libingan ng mga bayani? Yes or no? Yes, from this side. Yes, Nico?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This House believes that the former President of the Philippines, namely Ferdinand Marcos, should be buried in the Libingan ng mga bayani because he is already a hero, a war veteran who fought side by side with our guerrillas who thirst for freedom, and the President that made the Philippines a better country. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico. Yes, from this side. Yes, we have Kenneth.
This House believes that the long-running issue of whether or not former President Ferdinand Marcos should be buried at the Libingan ng mga bayani or Hero Cemetery has finally been put to rest. Marcos was stealthily buried at the Hero Cemetery past noon with full military honors. Just 10 days earlier, the Supreme Court on November 8 decided that the late dictator can be buried at the Libingan ng mga bayani. Nearly 3 months after President Rodrigo Duterte gave his marching orders for burial preparations, martial law victims had filed petitions to block it. Read Martial Law 101, Things You Should Know. The 21st year administration of Marcos is notorious for its human rights abuses. Amnesty International recorded about 70,000 people imprisoned, 34,000 tortured, and 3,240 were killed from 1972 to 1981, the years when the Philippines was placed under martial law. Read worse than that, torture methods during martial law. In the past 27 years, the final resting place of Marcos had been highly debated, but on November 18, it was silenced. Read From Hawaii to Ilocos Norte, the long journey of Ferdinand Marcos remains. My dear adjudicators, the Marcosian ideology is a governance framework justifying strawman rule, that it can't go wrong, that it can't be doubt, because the ruler has all the best intentions for the country and people. As the collation said, it also criticized Duterte for giving us a crass political accommodation in the guise of presidential campaign promise to have Marcos buried at the Libingan ng mga bayani. The million-dollar question is, does Marcos deserve to be buried at the Libingan ng mga bayani if he has been accused of massive corruption and human rights violations in his 2-decade term? Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. You have a rebuttal from this side. Yes.
According to the law passed in 1948, the only qualification for this law so that one can be buried in national pantheon is actually for one to be a president. The law also does not state that the president may be disqualified from being granted a hero's burial due to his record of human rights violations. So, we believe that Ferdinand Marcos deserves to be buried at the Libingan ng mga bayani.
Thank you so much, Mila Flor. Yes, we have a rebuttal. Yes, Aldrin.
Okay, you guys believe that Marcos was a hero, so let's clarify things. if we describe a hero, according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, a person who is admired for great or brave acts or fine qualities. So if let us go back to Marcos Reggiani. He implemented the martial law. During the martial law, there are a lot of victims of extrajudicial killings, tortured under Marcos dictatorship. So, can you say is it a heroism? It is an act of heroism. Can you say it that Marcos is a hero? So we believe that Marcos is not a hero and he should not be buried in the libingan ng mga bayani.
Yes, from this side, he believes or they believe that Marcos should not be buried in the Libingan ng Bayani because first, he's not a hero. Your rebuttal? Is your rebuttal? Yes, they believe that Marcos cannot be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani because one, he was, what do you call that? What was your rebuttal again, Kenneth? He cannot be buried in Libingan ng mga Bayani because of extrajudicial killings during the martial law. Second, he cannot be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani because he is not a hero. And you made mention a while ago that he will be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani because he is a president. And the motion of Miko, are you here? He will be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani because he is a, what was that again, Miko? He is a war veteran. Yes, you have a rebuttal about Algin's point a while ago. Yes, we have Junraiza.
The problem with this is, we only see the bad side of other people without even noticing the good things they're bestowed upon us. The late President Ferdinand Marcos should be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani for the simple reason he deserves it. To bury Marcos at the Libingan is to invite discussion on what the man really was, human as he is, and to put him in the greater national discourse. Let those who are long dead rest, for they cannot defend themselves. Let our sense of justice be bigger than our personal pains. We can verify or continue to mock any dead man, put him into the magnifying glass of history, and let all his dead be judged and weighed by the scale of justice. But we do not drag the bare skeleton and deny the man a proper burial. This is not us, and we shall never become the perceived monster we fought hard to vanquish. For what sin can a dead man defend himself? For what amount of blood and hate do we need to atone to redeem a dead man?
Thank you so much, Junraiza. Good point. Any rebuttal? Yes? Sir?
We accuse Marcos as a hero because he did not make any good things in our country. When Marcos assumed the presidency, the country's foreign debt was billion when Marcos fled to Hawaii. The country was heavily in debt with $25 billion. The bulk of these borrowed funds, according to the sources, had been stashed abroad. In the second term, economic growth slowed, optimism faded, and the crime rate increased. In addition, a mass communist insurgency is on the rise.
Thank you, sir. Any rebuttal? Yes, now, Jane.
Ferdinand Marcos was one of the smartest presidents that the Philippines had. Yes, the contributions to the country were numerous and were fairly significant. He did what needs to be done. He proclaimed because he believed that it was necessary due to complete anarchy in the Philippines. There is a need for an action because the people were already uncontrollable. Thus, he applied the contribution. So, he deserves to be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani.
Thank you so much, now, Jane. Any rebuttal from this side? Yes, Vanessa?
Marcos deserves burial, yes. They can do it anytime, but a hero's burial is improper. We are not monsters for forbidding such act. It's an attempt not as big as an act of justice to those who were killed, tortured, and disappeared during his regime. It's an act telling to our future that being a plunderer and a human rights violator, it's not heroic. Even if you build hundreds of infrastructure projects that did not even benefit entirely the whole population. We judge a dead man by the legacy that he left. Marcos left a nation that has barely recovered from the political, social, and economic injustices of his regime. We do not need more blood nor hate. We just have to refuse a dead man his hero's burial because he does not deserve it.
Okay. Yes. Any rebuttal from Denesa's point? Marcos daw should not be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani. Yes, we have Stephen.
According to our research about the petition of the Bayani, and our former president, Rodrigo Duterte, believes that Marcos should be buried at the Libingan ng mga Bayani since he was a soldier and a former president. The government also said that there was no law prohibiting Marcos from being buried at Libingan ng mga Bayani, a cemetery reserved for soldiers, former presidents, national artists, and statesmen. And that it is within Duterte's power and prerogative to allow it. Duterte's decision did not sit well with martial victims and right groups, who argued that only who can serve as an inspiration and as models and communities can be buried at the military shrine in the Republic Act 289 as basis.
Thank you so much. Judges, are these points enough for your judgment, or are these points enough so that we will have, or do you have any addition to your point from the opposition side? Yes, we have Bia.
Is being a president a law prison? How about those innocent people that are being killed during this time? Can you explain further?
Yes. Explain further. Is being the president enough reason to be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani? Can you answer that? Yes.
The burial of the late President Marcos is not an issue on martial law victims. But if you would insist, then I'll take toll on it. Yes, there were a lot of people who would have died from martial law. There are a lot of victims of torture, sudden disappearance, and so on and so forth. This is a written fact. I like to see any claims. But let's go back to the main rule of the martial law. Why was it declared? Simple. There was complete chaos in the country, but there were assassination attempts to the First Lady, Mary, and even the President himself.
Thank you so much. So, judges, are you ready to have your judgment? But before that, so that's the end of our free debate. So, when we are having our debate, let's set aside our personal judgment. Same with you, judges. Let us set aside our personal judgment whether we agree that Marcos should be buried or not in the Libingan ng mga Bayani. It is a debate. So let's set aside our personal judgment, our own reactions, our own emotions from that. No? So, judges, who will win our debate for today? They have the hard time figuring out who will win. But before that, judges, can we have your comments? Ma'am, mga ma'am, can we have your comments? Yes? Let's have their decision. Is it a unanimous decision? They are having the hard time. So did you enjoy our activity? Yes. Yes. So, diba, it's a long journey for Marcos. It's a long problem of our nation. According to Duterte, Marcos daw should be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani because it creates division in our nation. No? It creates division. So, for us to have a unity, one solution for that is to bury Marcos in Libingan ng mga Bayani. It's actually, our activity for today is actually a late activity. Marcos now is in the Libingan ng mga Bayani. We cannot bury, we cannot dig his body. But it's a good exercise for you so that you can let out your ideas, you know, about Marcos be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani, and that we have to know your insights. You are very young. You have a lot of insights, no? And some of you have posts in FB that you are pro or con about Marcos being buried, but you don't know the real reason why he should or should not be buried. So this is a good activity for you. Yes, comments.
Okay, by the way, you did a good job earlier. Okay, let's clap our hands for everybody. Congratulations to everybody. We, the judges of this free debate that we have, decided to have our, what do you call this one? Side on the affirmative side. Okay, affirmative side. Congratulations, by the way. Why did we have like that? Because affirmative side, they have let's start with your statements first. You are both factual in your statements, though there are really no references on where you got your ideas from. I mean, your statements from. But we know that you know that some of those are your own statements, or you have read it from somewhere else and you have just shared it with them, or you have thrown it into your opponent. However, there was one in the affirmative side that has stated a reference. That was Fabria, I guess. Then, with regards to that, your statements are factual. However, they had, for us, judges, they have defended their side more than the opposition. The opposition, you have this strong power to defend that you are against the burial of Marcos in the Libingan ng mga Bayani. However, you were just more, you focused on the moral issues about the heroism. Well, you somehow define what a hero is, but are those only the qualifications for being a hero? We consider Superman as a hero, and don't we know that before he became a hero, he has ruined a lot of stuff. Supergirl we consider that a hero, like, fictional hero, but you consider her a hero, right? Because she has saved a lot of people, but she also has ruined a lot, right? Okay, but then we look at the good point. Your focus is on the bad point of Marcos. Am I right? Or have I stepped into some of your viewpoints? Okay, so that's it. Now, on the affirmative side, they have defended based on the laws that he was a veteran, he was a president, and that they were able to defend that he should be buried because of this, that they cannot defy the law. I like that. On the other side, what you have is just on the moral issues. Okay, you could have, what do you call this one? Stated more on that, right? You could have referred to some, what do you call this one? Maybe church laws, or was there any, something in the doctrine in the church that disqualifies Marcos to be buried in the Libingan ng mga Bayani?
Or does Supreme Court no law about he should not be buried in the Libingan? Any addition? That's all?
So far, no.
So you have agreed that the affirmative side is the winner for this debate. Let's So for the opposition side, do not be disheartened that you lost this debate. We will be having many debates, so do not be disheartened by the fact that you lost this debate. I'm so sorry. Anyway, it was a good input today. Thank you, judges. Thank you, Great Intelligence. So, see you on the next round. No, see you on